Banning athletes who kneel is breach of human rights. Sports leagues are private entities, they can ban people for pretty much whatever reason they want. Rule 50 of the Olympic Charter states that no kind of demonstration or political, religious, or racial propaganda is permitted in any Olympic sites, venues or other areas. Pretty cut and dry here. If you protest in uniform, you can lose your job whether or not your employer agrees with your protest. Hell, you get court-martialed in the military if you protest in uniform. You have every right to protest, and your employer has every right to fire you if you're in uniform while you do it. I think it's stupid to ban something like kneeling, but this is in no fucking way a breach of human rights. LOL. It's funny. Many of the same people who agree with this premise are the first ones to remind others that freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from the consequences of that speech. If it's proscribed in the Olympic Charter, and they choose to do it anyway, the consequences are on them. You can't have it both ways just because you happen to agree with the message. It's certainly not a human rights violation, because being a professional athlete is not a human right. They're private organizations. Question: if companies like Twitter is allowed to ban/silence people with certain views, can't sports do the same? If they don't want someone kneeling during the anthem, it's their rule/decision. No. Since when was playing a sport a human right? Probably wrong? Yes. Breach of human rights? Hell no. It'd be a breach of human rights if they said as long as you are a member of an Olympic team, you may not support any cause whatsoever or something along those lines. The rule is simple: do whatever you want outside of the venue, but at the venue you are there for your team. Actually, it's 100% up to whatever organization they play for. I have never heard of the Global Athletes Movement before. The entire article seems like a publicity stunt. Not this shit again. Being a professional athlete isn't a human right. I don't have the right to have someone pay me to play a sport. And that's a good thing because I have no athletic ability and was always picked last for team sports in school. Edit. Oops, this is about the IOC, which is amateur sports. My point still stands. Competing on a world stage in sports isn't a human right. But that being said, banning someone who could be the best person in the world at a given sport just because they kneel is stupid. I'd love to see sponsors start dropping the Olympics over this. Having exclusive sponsors isn't a human right either. Fuck's sake, that's the most idiotic headline I think I've ever seen. What about an athlete whom has a very unpopular opinion and feels the need to share? As an example, what if one is a supremacist and wants to give a Nazi salute? Or take a knee for wiping Palestine off the map? I have other opinions on the disingenuous nature of this whole thing. But that's for another discussion. Athletes take part in the Olympics voluntarily, and when they do, they have to follow the rules, which among other things state that you are not allowed to make political statements during the games. More CCP agitprop. You know what's a breach of human rights? Tanks in Tiananmen Square. Shooting protesters with live rounds. Sending Uyghurs to re-education concentration camps. What's Chinese for Auschwitz, again? Fuck off, CCP. I thought private organizations could censor whatever they like. Isn't that y'all's reasoning for supporting Reddit's fascist censorship policies? Meanwhile, people get fired for posting their political views. Where's the line crossed? Yeah, sorry, where is the news here? Can we not turn r/world news into a clone of r/politics? No, it's not. If you are a professional athlete paid to do a job, and your employee says not on company time, then quit. No other person but these athletic millionaires could get away with. We'd all be fired. And so should they. Banning athletes who kneel is a breach of human rights? No, it's against the rules. It has absolutely nothing to do with human life rights. Same with steroids. No, it's not. Not if it's in the contract they signed for employment willingly. Explain to me how this isn't the exact same thing as companies like Twitter and Facebook banning people for things covered by the First Amendment, and the clown goons all jump out of the woods to scream private companies not free speech. Fuck off with this have your cake and eat it too bullshit. If companies don't want the backlash from controversy affecting their bottom line, then they are free to terminate contracts and ban their employees as they wish. I remember when Milo Yiannopoulos, I cannot spell it, was banned from a university, conservatives were all free speechy. Wonder what they're saying here. Politics has no place in the Olympics. It's kind of the point. Till kneeling is a human right, rolling on the floor laughing. No, it's not, it's a job just like any other job. You can protest on your own time as a human right. An owner of a business has a right to dictate what his/her employees do while on the clock. Disagree. If I throw apples against my office windows in protest of something, I should have a job there. Football players are employees. They don't get to do whatever they want on the job. This generation is retarded. I have always felt that kneeling isn't a disrespect of the flag. It's that flag that gives them the right to do it. You disrespect the flag by not speaking up for what is right. If I'm overtly political in my office at work and someone complains to HR about me, my job could be in jeopardy if I don't tone it down. The same can be done for athletes while on the job. The modern left. Social media censoring conservative speech is okay because they are private corporations and have a right to remove content they disagree with. Also the modern left. Private corporations that ban athletes for engaging in political speech that they disagree with is a breach of human rights. Doublethink is alive and well, it seems. That implies that being an athlete is a human right. When should I expect my NBA contract? I guess now we should start caring about human rights. Since not banning someone from sports for kneeling is the most unthinkable thing happening in the realm of human rights violations right now. Forcing a baker to bake certain types of cake is an infringement of human rights. No one's been banned. Didn't the Olympics take away the medals of those athletes that put up the black power fist in like the 70s? Are people just now finding out what the IOC is really like? Equal rights is political? To who? You have no idea what human rights are if you think your title is remotely true. No, it isn't. Follow the rules or fuck off. Whatever sport it is does not need political affiliations aired on the field. It's really not a human right to be employed by a professional sports team. I'm full on in favor of any athlete that chooses to kneel, but utter shit being spewed like this does more harm for the cause than good. Come on, this isn't even close to a human right. This only serves to water down the definition of the word, and actual human rights are too important for us to do that to. This is one of the dumbest headlines I've read in a while. Human rights violation? How stupid. Just protest outside of work, they're paying you to do your job and you represent them. Executives get fired over their personal beliefs they only talk about outside of work, but you expect a guaranteed job while saying and doing anything you want during work. Not allowing political agendas in the Olympics is a bad thing? Whoosh. As much as I'm in favor of most human rights, and everybody having them, I honestly don't watch sport to engage in politics. I think the same when the media is obsessed with sports people's personal lives. I don't mean to be mean, but I just don't care if someone has had an affair, got married, had a child or released a sex tape. I just want to watch and talk about the game. To be fair, I don't know anyone who watches the Parliament channel to find out how Boris did on his back nine.